Welcome to J.R. Hendrick, Texan Console. Here, reading J.R.'s story, Homefronts Part 1, is Jimmy. December 11th, 1993, 5:50 a.m. Despite being out late, J.R. is up early. He knows that his grandmother usually doesn't wake up until 7:30 or 8 on Saturday morning. That she spends Saturdays when it's just her and JR listening to old country music on the record player. JR reminisces about the fond memories of Saturday mornings with just him and her, nursing him back to health. Playing music on the record player. 6:30 a.m. Kyle and Madison, along with little George, are staying in one of the homes of Madison's mother in San Marcos, Texas. Madison's mother is the daughter of a wealthy Methodist minister / politician. 8 a.m. JR is having a pancake breakfast with his grandmother. So what do you got going on today? Elizabeth asks. Well, I have a meeting at 2 at the National Federation of the Blind, NFB. It's a Christmas party, and I'm riding with Brad and Jim Bob. On my way back, I've asked Mary Jo to take me and Ken. Personally, I don't blame Ken if he don't want to be seen with Brad, Elizabeth said. Junior, almost every time I've seen him come around here, he embarrasses you and makes sure Daddy really mad. He's not going to be one of my party pals for a while. Not as long as he condemns Ken. 9:15 a.m. Elizabeth and JR sit together in the den talking. I know your daddy wants you to have the ranch, Elizabeth said. But JR, son, if you're smart, go to a bigger city. Get as far away from here as possible, Elizabeth said. The ranch is more for Kyle and Christine, JR said. Not me. I want you to settle into a larger community, more opportunities for you. Grandma, I'm going to be a pillar in the Dallas community. Just as soon as Ken and I graduate from school. And marry well. Don't marry someone like Karen Crowder, whose mother is a damn feminist, Elizabeth said. 9:20 a.m. Meanwhile, in Houston, Jim and Christine wake up hungover. The servants make them a pot of black coffee. Betsy, Becky, and Mama have gone off shopping. Tomorrow, the Sanders would fly back to Washington, D.C. to cover things before returning to Texas for Christmas on the 20th. 11:50 a.m. Jared spent a greater part of the day of the morning reading. 2 p.m. JR is at the meeting, Christmas party. Jim Bob had asked for JR and Kim to keep things cordial with Brad. Ken reluctantly agreed because of the chapter. 3 p.m. Brad decides to stay behind to talk to Susan Culver, the NFB chapter president. So JR calls Mary Jo to pick him and Ken up. I want to go home with you, Kim said. I can't stand that a-hole. He's just a part of the upchuck turd crowd, JR said. Come on. You and I can have more fun. 3:15 p.m. Jim's party in Houston is going on. In attendance is Jim and Betsy, Claude and Becky, Greg and Norma Sanders, and Blake and Kate Carter. Claude gets someone to deliver some Jack Daniels whiskey to the party. 3:25 p.m. Back at the ranch, JR and Ken hang out at the living room. JR gets short with Conti, one of the ranch servants. Finding out, Elizabeth fires him. Conti was hired by Jim in January that year, and Elizabeth promises to get one of the hands to help JR. 4:05 p.m. Tom Petty is playing on the stereo as the party in Houston starts drinking. Greg Sanders saunters over to Jim. Don't let Clinton's treatment of you make you grow cold, Greg asks. Oh, hell, I know how to handle Bill Clinton, Jim said. He don't know business. Like Adam's rear end. A waft of cigarette smoke fills the air. The women are talking about Hillary Clinton's health care policy. Becky and Norma support it, but Betsy is opposed to the Clinton health care plans. With the new Mrs. Blake Carter, Betsy was in good company because they both opposed Hillary Clinton. 4:15 p.m. In the living room, Jenna and Ken are listening to music and talking. Your friends at school are much more fun than Jim, Bob, and Brad, Ken said. I just know Brad is playing on Susan Culver's feelings, JR said. Daddy has reason to be suspicious of him. Like it or not, JR, your father is a good man, Ken said. Jim Hendrick makes sure you are well provided. And your family's cool. Carl and Christine like me. Christine doesn't trust Brad as far as she can throw him, JR said. And she knows I'm in love with Karen. I'm warning you. She's gonna really break your heart, Ken said. I can't believe that. Karen's been good to me lately. 4:40 p.m. In Houston, country music is playing on the radio when Blake Carter approached Jim. Do you know what you're going to do? Blake asked. I just need more time. I'll be alright, Jim said. Can you afford to move your wife and family to Washington, D.C. I can't afford not to. I found the best school for my daughter. Hell, my kids got cousins that want to live with us in Washington. If I'll get to you, Jim, once you read the signs, it could be too late. You let me worry about that, Jim said. I handle Bush pretty well. I think I could do the same thing to old Slick Willie. President Clinton is corrupt as the day is long. Meanwhile, Kate Carter is talking to the ladies. My man is a fool if he thinks Jim shouldn't accept that appointment, Mrs. Carter said. Give us the status we need, Betsy said. I get tired of wandering around the social clubs of Odessa, Midland, wondering if they consider me a damn hayseed. Betsy girl, you are not hayseed, Norma said. You got class. And you can drink wine like no woman I've ever seen. And what this could do for my kids. Jared's just dying for a summer job in D.C. And who better to work with Jim or J.R.? J.R.'s pure and innocent, Norma said. Washington could spoil him. Or Jim won't let that happen, Betsy said. 5:10 p.m. Back at the ranch, Jerry and Ken are playing backgammon and listening to music. Elizabeth is upstairs listening to Waylon Jennings and Hank Williams Sr. on her record. 8 p.m. Ken had decided to return home, so Jerry is in the living room playing on his Nintendo when his grandma walks in. I figured you boys to be playing late, Elizabeth said. No, Grandma, I'm not like Kyle. I have church in the morning, Jared said. Like a good swing gentleman should be. December 12th passed quietly. On early morning of December 13th, J.R. wakes up in his bedroom at Swainfield. He is excited that his parents are coming home, but has trepidations about his brother. 7:10 a.m. Jim and Betsy, Claude and Becky load up into the Chrysler to drive to Houston Hobby Airport for their chartered flight back to Midland. Kyle is also had loaded Madison and little George in the truck for their 5-hour drive from San Marcos back to the ranch. 7:35 a.m. Jim Hendricks' party boards the chartered jet that was to take them back to Midland. At